All right, I didn't plan on doing a video this quick after the last one, but I was in town today, and I'll be damned if I didn't run into one of these Exogear speakers that I was looking at, actually in Academy Sports, believe it or not. Just doing my regular ammo run. Sorry again for the voice. It's not any better today than it was yesterday. I'll cover this really quick. Kind of update you on the gun rack. It ended up working perfectly. A scoped AR sits right up there. It's not in the way of my head. It's not really in the way of any view. I sat in the back seat. That didn't bother me either. So I've got this thing in here. I'm not finished touching everything up, but it is mounted. It is playing. It is extremely loud. Kind of underwhelmed on one aspect, and that's the bass. And I don't know if I just haven't figured it out yet, but I don't see a way to change the equalizer on it. I don't see a control on it or the remote, and I don't see anything in the manual, but I'll dig into that and find out. But guys, man, it is way louder than you can handle sitting that close to it. Just to kind of give you an idea how I have it mounted in there. I know it looks kind of close to the rearview mirror. But you actually cannot see it in the rearview mirror when you're sitting in it at all. So that worked out really well. Also, it does not impede my vision whatsoever. This is right up to my face, and you can't see anything there. So that worked out good. Sat in the back seat as well. Does not seem like it's going to block their vision either. So, all good there. If you're wondering how the wiring works, I've already put this panel on here, though. So, as you can see, let me see if I can get the glare out of here. This panel here, there's bolts. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. There's 9 bolts there. There's probably 10. And I'm just not seeing one of them. But you take this panel off, it slips off really easily. And all of your electronics going into the dash is back there. It's very easy. You pull up on these little tabs here, and it comes out. So if you guys are wondering where the wiring harness for the switches are, get this glare out of the way. It's right here behind this. This is part of that harness there. And there's however many switches. This thing's pretty wide for the, I'm going to call them dongles, are plugged off behind there. You just have to figure out which one goes to what switch, and you're pre-wired there. Pretty cool feature there. This hood, I guess, cover, whatever you want to call it, comes off pretty easy. You got your twist tabs here on each side, and then there's just pop-ins, kind of like an automotive style. Just make sure you don't pull up on this end, on the front. It does slide into some tabs. You don't want to tear that up. Yamaha did a good job on here. It's really clean. And you got your winch control here. This light here kind of looked like an afterthought. I would have wired that up a little better, but I can't complain too much about it. I did clean up some things. I zip-tied some stuff out of the way of the airbox. This wire harness here, I've just got the excess tied up right now for the speaker. Probably not going to mess with it anymore. It's clean. I'll leave it alone. I wired it straight to the battery because I don't really want, I don't want the speaker on a switch. Plus, I don't have a switch right now. I could change that later, but I'm not going to at the moment. There is your, I guess, horsepower reduction, speed management system, as that says. That's not ever going to get used on this thing. But if you were wondering, that's where your gray key goes to turn that on and off. Airbox, man, this is awesome. It's up really high. If you're that deep in the water, you're in trouble already anyway. Easy to change your filter. Doesn't get much better than that. Everything on here looks pretty good. Again, I put some zip ties on here to clean some stuff up, but I was pretty impressed the first time I took this apart. Now, I will say I'm not sure if the factory did this or if when they replaced my transmission, if they did it, but this screw right here was cross-threaded. I have it singled out. I had to take it really easy taking it out. I don't know if you guys can see that. But it should be fine, but that's kind of laziness there. Can't line that bolt up. Again, here's the speaker install. It does have a light bar, and I think that I'll actually get a little bit of light. I don't know how much of it is going to hit here. I wasn't really worried about that. I wasn't buying it for that little light anyway, but it is there. It may provide some light. I may in the future get a second one of these. They have a piggyback harness on it. And you can just wire it straight into the other one. I don't know if if you can see that. And you just wire that, and then you would be able to run it down your roll cage and then have another one in the back. And if you did mount one in the back, you could angle it to the point of where you would have that light coming out of the back if you wanted to. So if you were trail riding alone, you could have that on. I've heard people talking about doing the dual battery setup, but these things have a big enough battery and charging system that I don't think I'm going to worry about it. The only other thing I'm going to add is a little bit of lighting. I don't know what I'm going to do yet as far as whether I'm going to do a light bar or just 2 pods, but that's going to be it. That's the only battery draw on here. That is claiming to be a 500 watt speaker. I very seriously doubt it puts out anywhere near that. So it should be okay. I will say that the loudness is very impressive, but it's supposed to be 300 watts RMS. And for you guys that don't know, that's what it's actually putting out usually. That's a JBL Boombox 2, I think is what they call it. That guy's only 80 watts RMS, and the bass is exponentially better than the Exogear. Now, it is not anywhere near as loud as the Exogear, but it is better quality sound and bass. So that's it, guys. I did order my wheels. I'm having trouble getting the BFG KM3s. Nobody's got them. I would have ordered them already, but the guy that I was trying to get them through just can't get them. So I think if I remember correctly, the wheel I chose is a SDI HD10. It's like a 8-spoke wheel, 15x7, 5+2 offset. I'll get them here and bolt them up and look and see what the offsets are looking like. I may have to run a spacer in the back. Just looking at this machine, it looks like it could use a spacer in the back anyway. So I may go ahead and order a 1-inch spacer just to be safe, so when the stuff gets here, I don't have to wait on something else. That's it. I'm going to put it back together. If you wanted to know on the wiring. Oh, I did forget to mention that. You see that I would either have to drill through my roll bar, or they send these worm clamps, and I'm going to cut the excess off of those, clean that up. I thought that it would go somewhere or wiggle, but I mean, I can't even move that, dude. I was impressed with how tight those things got that. But it is what it is. It doesn't look the best, but I would rather have that there than me drilling through the roll bar any day. I'll probably tape this off and squirt a little paint on those worm clamps so you can't see them, or something to that effect. I've got the harness just ran through here and down the roll bar. I'm not overly worried about this because from the front, the windshield that I ordered is going to have a frame that comes out to here anyway, so I'll just roll this harness to the corner of that windshield. Once I get it installed, you won't be able to see it anymore. All right, guys, again, any questions, let me know. I haven't really ridden it any more than I did the other day from the last video, just a mile or two. Still no issues. I did top it out, and it's running right now, and it's not considered broken yet per Yamaha. It's running about 71 miles an hour. That's according to the speedometer. GPS is plus or minus that. I don't know what it'll do with a slightly taller tire. I'm going to run a 30-inch. That's supposed to be a 29. But again, it'll be flat and less aggressive. So we'll see. I'm looking at getting an ECM flash and getting the air injection block-off plates. I don't know what that's going to do as far as performance. Probably nothing, but hopefully that will get rid of the dying when it's cold. You know, sometimes I've got to crank this thing 3 times before it'll idle. Typical Yamaha, if you ask me, from my experience. But that's it, guys. Any questions, let me know.